Okay, we'll start with chart 1, but before I go into this chart, please realise there's a lot of other reports that I've given to you concerning the issues in this report, and I would urge you to look them up. I've listed them at the end of this report. Item 1, the little horn power. Now in Daniel 7, you have a lion, a bear, a leopard, and the terrible beast. The terrible beast has 10 horns, and there's a little horn comes up amongst the 10 horns. The little horn came up amongst them, and 3 of the previous horns were uprooted. It says in the old book, it has eyes and a mouth speaking haughty, pompous words. In verse 24, it says that he will uproot 3 kings, and he will speak the haughty, pompous words against the Almighty. That's Yahweh, the Creator God. In item 2, says he will plan to alter the seasons and the law. Now this has now happened with HAARP, man-made climate change, and the Noahide laws, which have already been adopted by the G20. And in verse 26, Yahweh intervenes. Yahweh says his kingdom will be destroyed and all the leaders, kings of the earth, will be annihilated. Now this brings us to the time of the end in Daniel 8. It goes on to say there will be 4 kingdoms arise. That's 4 world unions. EU, which you've already got, the African Union, Asian Union, North American Union, which will include Canada and Mexico. They will arise from one nation but lacking its strength because they're under the control of the G20, the mute abomination. Item 3, the G10 members, and I'll let you read those in your own time, and the G7 members. In the green, the G7 deals with such issues as global economic outlook and macroeconomic management, internal trade, international trade, energy, climate change, international relations regarding security and arms control. Yahweh's comment about this mute abomination, the living creator God, he said, I will make these wise men retreat, and I will make their knowledge foolishness. In chart 2, and this is more about the little horn power, which is the Pope, United Nations, NATO, the New World Order. Item 1. In September, the United Nations is planning to launch a new universal agenda for humanity to transform our world for the better by 2030. For sustainable development, it says. Now, this is no doubt a blueprint for global governance. It is taking the principles and the goals that were laid out in Agenda 21 to an entirely new level, seeking to put people at the centre of the development, foster human well-being, prosperity, peace, justice on a healthy planet, and pursue the respect for the human rights of all people and gender equality. Gender equality, by the way, is bringing in the same-sex marriage. But this mute abomination will be destroyed not by human hand, but it will be destroyed by the intervention of Yahweh, the living creator God. Tells you that in Daniel 8:25. Item 2, HAARP. That provides the man-made climate change and the chemtrails today. This is part of their global governance control over all food produce. Now, if you control all the food in the world, well, you've got control of all the people. They've got the Noahide laws, which have already been adopted by the G20. That's the UN, NATO, New World Order. Now that's referred to in the Daniel prophecy as the goat power. That's in Daniel 8, which is currently and systematically destroying all countries in the Middle East. That's from Egypt, Africa to Turkey and Syria. See the YouTube reports that I've given to you. But the harp that they're using, that blows a hole in the ionosphere, and the global electromagnetic field is damaged. And that's needed for navigation by birds, whales, dolphins, animals and bees. And consequently, it is killing millions. And I've given you several reports on this where the whales are dying and the dolphins are belly up all over the ocean. And there was thousands of tons of fish belly up all over the ocean. In item 3, published on 2013, this comment says the Vatican is almost in total control of the New World Order movement, intelligence agencies, and they have been hijacked by the Jesuit order as well. But many know nothing about this highly efficient, well-oiled machine, the Jesuits, and they have been behind the 9/11, and the secret plan now is to enforce a Sunday Sabbath law for the whole world. And don't forget, the Vatican is part of the Masons, Illuminati, secret society cartel. Okay, we're up to chart 3, more about the little horn power, which is the Pope, United Nations, NATO and New World Order. Up the top at item 1, published in 2014. This is what the Pope said. The evidence for the theory of evolution remains strong. When we read about creation in Genesis, we run the risk of imagining Yahweh God was a magician with a magic wand, able to do everything. But this is not so. He created human beings and let them develop according to the internal laws that he gave to each one, so they would reach their fulfillment. The Pope said in June 2014, there is no do-it-yourself in the church, no freelancers. Sometimes you may hear someone say, I believe in God, in Jesus, but the church I don't care. How many times have we heard this? This is wrong. He also said there are those who believe you can have a personal, direct and immediate relationship with Jesus outside of the communion and mediation of the church. These temptations are dangerous and harmful. Item 2. The Pope Francis, he boosts Obama, Clinton, Kerry and Gore on climate change. And we've given you a thorough report on climate change being a man-made, false, fake global control. The Pope is calling for a one world religion to bring people together, the LUCIFER religion, and they will enforce a Sunday Sabbath law. These same as the Masons and the Illuminati secret society cartel also follow this same doctrine. The Vatican and the Pope, Pope Francis, openly worships Lucifer as God, referred to as the great architect of the universe by the Masons and the Illuminati secret society cartel. Item 3. The Vatican officially now recognizes the state of Palestine in Israel under a new treaty that was published in Fox World News. But Yahweh, the living creator God, said, Satan, Lucifer, you are a man, not a God, though you've set your heart like the heart of Yahweh God. You were a terror, but you shall be no more. Ezekiel 28. How you have fallen from the heavens, O glowing morning star, been cut down to the ground, O conqueror of nations. You said, I will liken myself to the Most High in Isaiah 14. And that is what's going to happen to this Lucifer, or Satan. Now on this chart, there's a couple of charts that you've seen before, but I've repeated them here because it's very important for you to refresh your mind with. Lucifer, also known as Satan, he's got a new world religion that is coming that I've just shown you. Item 1, Lucifer with his new world religion capital, Astana, the sun worship. There's a pyramid building which is dedicated to bringing together the world's religions, and for millennia Lucifer instituted all of the various religions on this planet, and he has acted covertly, out of sight, and as reported to you, he is personified as Jesus, and he himself is the Antichrist. And he's leading people on a wild goose chase to find him, identify the Antichrist. And if you go into the internet today, you've got thousands of websites all trying to identify who the Antichrist is. There's something about this picture. Note the two pillars at the entrance of this occult city, Astana. It has the name fake pillars built into Solomon's temple construction of what was supposed to be the Hebrew temple. You'll get that in 1 Kings 7:21. Now this is what the United Nations leader Chimoy said. No one will enter the New World Order unless he or she will make a pledge to worship Lucifer and take the Luciferian initiation. The United Nations is the chosen instrument of God. The United Nations New World Order religion is a combination of New Age mysticism, pantheism, Aboriginal animism, atheism, communism, socialism, Luciferian occultism, Christian religion, and the Jews, Judaism, Islam, Taoism, Buddhism, and Hinduism. But you've got to ask, instrument of God, which God? Item 3. In 930 BC, there was a warning given to Solomon by Yahweh, saying, but if you and your children turn away from me and do not observe my commandments, my statutes, and my ordinances, and you worship the gods of others, I shall cut off Israel from the face of the land that I gave them, and the temple that I had sanctified for my name, I shall dismiss from my presence. That's in 1 Kings 9:6-9. Solomon built high places for the idol worship and for child sacrifices. I gave you a report on that. They were killing children, sons and daughters, all the way through to about 200 AD. Yahweh became very angry with Solomon and said, since this has happened to you, I will surely tear away the kingdom from you, in 1 Kings 11. And as I've given you the reports on it, from 721 to 586 BC, no Israel exists today. They were exiled and they were rejected totally by Yahweh, the living creator God. Now here's some more on Astana, the capital for the Illuminati, Satan. That's in Kazakhstan. Item 1. It appears Lucifer is no longer operating covertly. It appears he is setting up his headquarters at Astana in Kazakhstan. According to, and you got the website there, he has an enormous round table under a huge figure of the sun for his Congress, where all members and religious leaders will hold their meetings for reuniting and reconciling their differences to culminate in the new global Lucifer religion. Now, see my reports that I've given to you about who wrote the Bible and the new global Lucifer religion coming. It is reported the Masons, Illuminati, Secret Society cartel, they worship Lucifer, as they call the great architect of the universe. And one of their goals is to abolish the Christian Jesus religion and initiate a new world order global religion under Satan from his new world order headquarters at Astana in Kazakhstan. Now, under the Soviet Union, Kazakhstan became a powerhouse of industry, factories, chemical plants, mining rigs. Missile silos were built far and wide across the country, in addition to a number of notorious gulags. Now, gulags are a camp in this system or any other political labour camp, is the imprisonment of dissidents in a massive scale. And there's thousands of them have been built all over the world, in USA, and there's some already in Australia, called the FEMA camps. Item 3, neither the American people nor the Queen of Britain own America, nor does the Queen own the Commonwealth countries. The Crown Temple owns them all through the deception of those who have sworn their allegiance by oath to the Middle Temple Bar. The present Queen of England is not the Crown, as we have all led to believe. Rather, it's the bankers, the attorneys, the ruling elite, who are the actual Crown or the Crown Temple. The monarch aristocrats of England have not been ruling sovereigns since the reign of King John back in 1215. All royal sovereignty of the old British Crown since that time has passed to the Crown Temple in Chancery. Now, you've got reports on that, and you can go back and do your own research, and there's plenty of points there that you can Google to get more information. So to finish up this report, I'm just giving you some of the excerpts out of the Secret Society's Covenant. This was issued by, and it says, the Secret Covenant of the Jewish Secret Society, known as the Order of the Illuminati, issued under the supreme authority of the Jewish Bogra, sanctioned by the Jewish Rothschild dynasty in Europe and the Jewish Rockefeller dynasty in USA. Now, I'm not going to read all this for you because you'll have to stop the film, read it yourself, make notes yourself. But if you go into the Google, there's lots and lots, hundreds more people have published this, and you can get all of the other complete details of this secret society, which covers all secret societies. This is what they abide by, and this is what their doctrine is, and it shows you what they plan to do. I'll leave that there for a few minutes, and then we'll go to the second page, and I'll leave that for a couple of minutes so you can stop the film and take it all in. Now this is page 2 of the Secret Society's Covenant. Again, I will leave this here for a moment or two for you, so you can stop the film and you can read it and you can work out exactly how we have been duped by these people, the ruling elite, for hundreds and hundreds of years, and how they are the ghost government behind the government, and how they also control every agency in every government, plus the fact that they own and control the mainstream media. So you're not going to read about these things on the newspaper or see it on the television news. They don't want you to know this. This is what they call their secret covenant. I'll leave that there for a moment or two, and this will wind up this report. I'd like to just add a little comment. Please remember that the name Yahweh, the holy name of the living Creator God, was deleted and taken out of the Bibles nearly 7,000 times, and it was replaced with Lord, L-O-R-D. And this has led the theologians, a lot of the teachers, to say that that was referring to Jesus, and that's a lie, which I've given you a thorough report on. And with the Jewish people in their Tanakh, they took it out. They referred to Adonai or Hashem, H-A-S-H-E-M, which is another abomination name to Yahweh, the living Creator God. And I ask Yahweh to bless you and your family.